are live. We have quite the crew with us tonight. We have Shem Jacobs. We have GGSC Casey, I believe. Crowley was it Pat, and ElkMan Ryan, myself, BurnEye, Crypto Alchemist, and the homunculus Bert and Ernie, but they don't need to be here, so boom, there we are. You guys were actually all together doing a recording prior to this, so I lucked out and nabbed all four of you at once to come over and discuss some alternative history tonight. And we'll start it off with Ryan here. You got this map that is of StarForts. Is this correct?
No, this is...
All right, sorry, I fucked that up.
All my research.
How about everybody introduce yourselves before putting Ryan on the spot and tell us all about the work you do and what's going on.
All right, I'm Pat. Hello.
What up, Pat?
What's up, dude?
Hey.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
Shem. I look into random stuff for fun about history.
And also make parodies too. Tartarian Truth is your alter ego. And then GGSC, Casey, your Golden Gate StarFort Command. And I've seen you do some streams with Shem lately. And quite the research. Loving
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, man, I'm just out here fucking trying to live and make sense of all this fucking madness. And I'm blessed to fucking be able to chop it up with you solid ass dudes. It's awesome.
For sure.
Appreciate you being here too. And like, what a elegant way of putting it, of just trying to make sense of it all and being alive and understanding what's going on. And like, that's pretty much how we all probably got into this, just looking at things and being like, WTF, none of this makes sense to the narrative. Every which rabbit hole or portal you look down, there's evidence of the exact opposite of what they claim. And yeah, if you guys want to cover a little bit or do a brief of what you're discussing in the recording that's going to be coming out later that you did earlier.
Well, I just brought out some photos from that Half Moon Bay Ritz-Carlton ruins that I got out there this weekend and got to get some photos and some pics. And we spent a bunch of time just kind of going over those photos and looking at the coastline and, just trying to fucking make sense of it.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about who built them and why they were built, and a little bit about how the natives have connections back to various religions and peoples from Asia, Eurasia, the Levant.
Right. Like, that's a huge thing that is now like undeniable, that the indigenous, especially the Northwestern Pacific, as well as the far north, all share this Inuit and then Asian Northwest Asian genetics, as well as some South East Asian as well, I believe. And we've gone quite in depth and deep talking about the different, they're called, forget at the time, the junkers, the Chinese ships that they found off the coast of Oregon, Washington, stuff like that, and discussed the possibilities of the Asians being trading throughout the Pacific, crossing pretty much before Columbus, as far as history goes back, just like the Phoenicians, the Egyptians, the Sumerians, essentially doing the same on the east side of it, in the Atlantic with the Romans as well.
Yeah, I mean, we do have evidence that in the 1200s there is at least some sort of connection between the Yuan dynasty of China and North America multiple sources claim it to be true, but of course mainstream history doesn't.
And I believe it. It's what makes sense, and it's why it would also explain why there's so many old world buildings in the Pacific Northwest of North America as well, right? If they were actually over here trading, establishing, living, and being here long ago, right?
Absolutely. I mean, like I've said this before in other streams, but like even now, the Bering Strait's like 60 miles apart. Like you can see the other side. You know what I mean? Like it's not that far, and it's not that out of the question. We were talking about the currents a little bit, and we have the Gulf Stream in the Atlantic, and there's a Humboldt Current, and I forget the name of the one in Pacific, but it basically these currents and streams that just circle the Pacific Ocean. You just catch that and just cruise it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It would be ridiculous to think that if people from China were traveling over the United States, they wouldn't have the capability of building some of these massive buildings. When you think about the fact that these same people built Beijing, the Forbidden City, everything to do with it, they were the founders of Moscow, which is one of the most impressive cities in the world. So they had the capability of building this type of stuff.
Absolutely. And just like a random old, I guess, Tartary map, Tartaria, but the fact that we have Japan, oh, darn it, there we go. Japan, not at all in the right shape, yet they still have Alaska right here, and the Bering Straits, not fully mapped out, but recognizing that it's there. They've got a ship going through it, and this is from a very old time period. Not sure exactly on that one, but there's literally hundreds of these old ancient maps that show how close they are, the Bering Strait, the islands, and if you go on Google Maps, there's tons of wreckage of former inhabited cities along the islands of the Bering Strait as well.
I'd like to see some of this.
Sorry. Of course, as soon as you go live and you try looking for something, you never get the right.
That one, there's that chain of islands up
go.
there. There's a chain of islands up there that goes from Alaska, I think, almost all the way across. What are those called?
Yes, and I'm trying to remember the name of them right now.
Yeah, and they're all owned by a bunch
Aleutian
of
Islands. Yes, there we go.
Yeah, I think
correct.
I can't remember. I've looked those up before. But they're all pretty close together as well. Like, hopping island to island is definitely not out of the question.
Yeah, if anything,
an island is just an underwater mountain with its top pointing out. If there's lower sea level before, it would have been much bigger.
And yes, it's the Aleutian Islands specifically that I was referring to, that on Google Maps. Shout out to Analog Ben there, the archivist. He's done an episode on the Aleutian Islands on Google Maps, as well as 13th Monkey, Mike, which I'll be having back on here soon, that has shown the macro structures that actually are on the Aleutian Islands, StarForts, as well as what looks like artificially created islands, bays, canals, leftover cities. That there's also reports that some were like even ancient Greek former city remnants up there, and that's the official narrative of how humanity crossed from one continent to another. but it
Interesting.
seems it was always inhabited. And can't find the right maps for the life of me right now.
Which one are you looking for?
An ancient one with the Aleutian Islands specifically. But we always do get the
Well, didn't
Antarctic
Japan just find?
usually.
Didn't Japan just
Sorry?
Didn't Japan just find 7,000 new islands? Something like that.
Yeah,
Right, I heard about
recently.
that.
Yeah, yeah. They just popped up. Yeah, and islands are apparently going missing too at the exact same time as I'm finding them too. So who knows?
Fascinating. Right?
Yeah,
And
that was back in March when they found 7,000 islands they didn't know they have.
Yeah, they just recounted them, but I don't know.
But
I'm
that,
like, what?
as far as
I mean,
as far as that Japan thing goes, what you're showing earlier, that looked like it was Sakhalin, which is like northern Japan, which is now part of Russia, but it's basically the same people as Japan. Like the Ainu live there, and other indigenous peoples, like the Nifk or something. But
I just
Yeah,
sent one to the private
Russia
chat.
and Japan are like still officially at war over those islands, those northernmost islands that Russia got through the USSR after World War II ended. And yeah, it's 5,000 new islands they just magically added to their
7,000. Yeah.
7,000. Wow.
I sent a map to the chat.
Yeah, I'm just opening that now.
Okay.
Of the Aleutian Islands, correct?
Yeah. It's not an ancient one, but it
Yeah,
has a good picture, I think.
absolutely. Bering Sea and Kamchatka, right? That's the peninsula down from Russia, from northeast Russia down. And then there's the Japanese islands below. And then there's all of the Aleutian Islands along here from Alaska. And then they go all the way down the coast of North America throughout Canada, basically connecting with the West Coast.
Do you think that is like less sketchy to cross there than just like chance the Pacific Ocean right on the equator?
Oh yeah, because there's an island every 20, 50 miles. Probably shouldn't have stopped sharing that, right? As we keep talking about it. But where, you'd be thousands of miles on the Pacific or the Atlantic, where there's only the Azores and the Canary Islands, I believe, and then on the Atlantic side, basically, and then on the Pacific side, you got Hawaii, you've got Polynesia, Micronesia Islands, stuff like that, but very little.
Personally, I find it'd be like super sketch. You know what I mean? Once you got to one of those islands, and then you'd have to like beat winter all the way down the coast. You know what I mean? Before winter set in.
Yeah, right. So the way it looked was like that there was permanent inhabitation at all of those islands at one point, that they were established farming, trading, fishing towns, and that the anthropologists and archaeologists officially state that they've found inhabitation and artifacts on these islands of civilizations that date to 10, 12,000 years ago. And that's where they come up with the Bering Strait theory and everything, and how they claim to validate it. But it just shows, in fact, that there was civilizations able to permanently inhabit that chain of islands across at one point.
Like
what
yeah.
And they would get to a StarFort up there, and they would just chill out.
I wonder if there are some.
Just pointed out there's Fort Ross in Northern California too, which is an old Russian fort. It's a set piece now, but it's a StarFort.
Right. And then Fort Bragg, of course. If you ever look at Fort Bragg, it's just like totally
Russian River.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking it would be like once winter hit in Alaska, it just I don't even know if you'd be able to survive it, like unless
Well,
pricing.
and especially today's climate, where there's a lot of evidence that 12,000 years ago it wasn't actually an ice age, but it was warmer, or maybe I guess officially they try to claim like 60 or 70,000 years ago that there was or subtropical plant life and stuff, and all these flash frozen trees and animals and stuff. Same with in Alaska and in Antarctica. Apparently, they've found layers now.
Right. So it was like it wasn't just ice capped. You didn't have like 3 months to make it.
Yeah, exactly, right. And that's what some of the old maps seem to be illustrating or showing.
I mean, just now you just as now you just think it's so inhospitable, right? So there would definitely have to be like some kind of like, the it'd have to be a little bit more lush than just snow caps and rocks. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
And there's like stuff backing that up, like through like StarFort being built up there and stuff like that. History of it.
Yeah, that's fascinating. The StarFort aspect.
That's what I was wondering. Are there ruins on this island?
Yeah, I need to get another better computer that can handle Google Earth while live streaming.
I feel like
anybody,
churches and shit.
Yeah, most of the
I
islands.
can look. Let me look. Okay. See if I could get it.
And there's a StarFort in Japan. Look at that the small one to the left of it too.
There's some unmarked ones too on Google Earth and
mountains in Japan too, which are really interesting.
Let's see.
Yeah, you see this white piece right here.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been what they were representing on that old map.
Oh, I see what he's saying. That's potentially a like macro StarFort island.
Yeah, this website's very cool.
And then they have, Japan and like the royal palace.
That northern area could be, I guess.
That's a wall.
Oh, that's the Azores right there.
Oh, well, a lot of them got burnt down. There's barely any that survive. Yeah,
Like,
I thought this was interesting because this is like one of the locations that people say Atlantis could have been.
Right, and it's right in the smack, and it seems like there is a lot of sunken, like parts and odd macro structures below the Azores, as well as rumors of pyramids, or actually documentation of some pyramids being found in the Azores, as well as above on the actual islands, some small pyramids, but that there were supposedly giant ones below the ocean. Hey, Frankie, good to see you, New West Reset. And then, Shem, does that happen to have the Royal Palace of Japan, or like the?
No, it doesn't. I don't think it did. I think this is the only thing from Japan I saw on the website. But the list isn't very user-friendly. You have to actually just read them one by one. They're not really organized. I'll bring it up.
Nice, because like the Japanese one is a star.
Yeah, I'll go to the home page so you can see it real quick.
And that's in the Azores.
This is the website right here, just starforce.com. Pretty basic.
Nice. Only StarFort.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, this is the list right here.
fascinating. Oh,
There's
that's huge.
this is just randomly. I just thought of it. There's a Strait of Tartary over, like north of Japan too, I believe.
So yeah, potentially that's what the old Bering Strait was called, because the Sea of Tartar was.
Yeah, it's in between that Sakhalin island I was talking about and mainland Siberia.
Right, there you go. Yeah. Yep. I'm looking at
Sea of Tartar was
Google
what?
Earth right now.
You cut out for me.
You got Google Earth up? Do you want to? Are you able to
Sure.
share it?
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it up.
Yeah, so this is fucking. Where are we? Oh, yeah. Japan, Sapporo. That's where you're. That's that one you're talking about, right? Shim.
Yeah.
Yeah, that island right there. Your mouse is on that Sakhalin.
Which one?
There's a city there that's on the Russian side that looks exactly like St. Petersburg, and by the Straits of Tartary. You would never guess that it was. I guess like a Far East Russian city.
Right there.
Do you remember what it's called?
I forget what the name of it is off the top of my head, but I can find it in a minute. I think it might be that V. What does that say right there?
So that's still the state. Is that currently still the Strait of Tartary, like officially, or was it prior?
I can't remember
It's still.
Wow, still.
Oh yeah.
Fascinating. Because look at that, because if officially the Tartars are like a small area of Turkey and then a small area of Russia, but then it was like the Tartars are still in Crimea, and that they're a minority in Crimea that the West currently tries to play as human rights against that Russia's abusing them or something, but really they seem quite happy. And then in all of the Turkmenistan and Turkish, I guess it's Central Eurasian countries there, they have some Tartars, and then Siberia, and then at the far east, literally on the Atlantic coast of Russia's borders, you still have the Strait of Tartary.
That's suspicious.
They still call them the Tartars in Russia too, so I mean, it's not like a huge secret there. But that city was called Vladivostok.
Yeah, Vladivostok.
Actually, that sounds familiar. How do you spell it?
Vladivostok. I saw like a video tour of it before, and it just looked really impressive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Vostok, they've put a lot of both the old world city, actually, correct, right?
That's the gum department store.
Pretty suspicious looking Antiquitech, potentially.
It looks like a lot of other places.
Give some credit to the older maps, I guess, but yeah, trade of Tartarian. So I mean, it does make sense that there'd be certain cities over there that are more populated.
Excuse me.
Pretty hard to get to this island though from Russia. Apparently, there's like no real transportation once you get to that Sakhalin island. It's really neglected.
Is that this one?
Yeah.
Or this one? This one?
No, it's the one right
Yeah, I think
in the Strait of Tartary.
Okay, yeah.
It's in the Strait of Tartary right there. That
yeah, this guy.
Pretty huge island, actually.
Oh yeah, it's big.
barely hear about that bad boy.
Yeah, do you mind actually zooming in? Let's see along the coastlines there of some of it. There's some old ruins.
Let's start here.
Whoa.
Yeah, if you see something, just call it out or whatever.
Go to that track looking area where it looks like there's a track.
Right, like
there.
very sus that there's a track. I saw that right.
This
It's
thing,
right by
or-
the
No,
coast.
over
That's
toward
water.
the coast more. Over toward the coast.
Oh,
more.
and up actually. So first check out the track. Yeah, it's right along the coast there, like to the right a bit, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
There
yeah,
we
that.
go.
yeah.
Yeah. Probably for soccer.
Oh, the sock. There we go.
Yeah.
That makes
Right
sense.
on the
But up
beach.
to the top left there, it looks like some. Okay,
Rice paddies.
like, is that active or is that abandoned? Like,
It looks like just a rice
What is
paddy. You know, they have like rice.
yeah, like
Germinate.
agricultural,
Yeah.
but it's on a massive scale. Like, is it
Yeah, it goes way back.
currently used or is it?
And
like,
this is
ancient
Japan.
abandoned?
This is like
This
ran
is
by
Russia.
Japan. Oh, this is Russia.
Yeah,
Okay.
like this area is supposed to be scarcely populated and
Oh, I see. Who's that guy? Is that Lenin?
or
Wait,
Stalin.
get back. Yeah, you got like the Muslim influence type of.
This guy.
I'd say that's an owl.
We almost got a picture of him.
Well, look at that. Looks like
There's a couple ways you can see that. An owl
A
with two
train
pillars.
or an owl, right? Like,
Is that a train? That would be interesting because I guess there were like a lot of
Weird.
trains
Oh
on
yeah,
that island.
that is a train.
Yeah, it
right
has
on
to
the
be.
track,
These are the
coming out of the
tracks.
tunnel.
oh, that's exactly what it is. Wow.
Huh.
There's a lot of railroads there, so that makes sense. They're abandoned apparently.
Abandoned railroads on this island.
Just an outpost, huh?
Yeah, and like I said earlier, it's like impossible to get from one side to the other easily, and you can only land in like a couple certain spots or something. No, nothing really goes there.
Wow.
I can't read that.
Just a random obelisk monolith out in the. Was that in the
Yeah.
ocean or on shore? Like, what? Oh, it's on the point. Look at that. That's StarForty as heck. Artificial or reinforced coast. Wow.
And this has looked like had like military batteries. Like we were talking about that a little bit in the last one too.
Yeah.
That's
It's how the West Coast is
definitely,
covered in them, and they all go underground.
Right. That 99% chance has a macro StarFort beneath it.
What do they do out there? Just ride motorcycles or something?
Right, apparently.
It's hard to tell. It's weird
The
looking.
Google Maps isn't as 3D over here as it is in the States.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get some more information about this place. I don't know much about it overall.
Absolutely.
See what this is.
And then up to the left,
Oh,
even.
we got a castle. We got a castle.
Wow.
That's the castle.
Like, okay, just this megalithic giant monolith, and then next to it's like a wooden shack of a house.
And we got this right here.
Right? Like it looks like a lot of foundations of former inhabitation and structures. Very sus.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't
Some
look up information about it. It says, when I looked that up, it says Crespos in Slavic languages means fortress.
Fortress, so it was
Yeah,
most
so-
likely a battery StarFort fortress of some sort. Very StarFort looking geometries everywhere.
And what is it called again?
It was called
Castle-
Crespos Syracuse, but I couldn't find
Yeah.
anything about it. What is it? What was the English version? Was there an English one? Because maybe I can search that.
I don't think so.
Like
That's-
Sock Holland?
Yeah, I looked that up. There's no information. So it's probably like a different name for it in Russian
Oh, excuse me.
or whatever language they're speaking in this area.
It's really hard to look up stuff out here and in Asia and where we call Tartary, just because there's no they don't even give us a translation.
Well, especially
Google, you know?
the new Iron Curtain / cold, almost hot war that they have going on as well right now. That
Totally, it's a perfect excuse for them to, hide it.
exactly. They're currently dropping bombs on little Tartary, blowing up all of
even more.
right? The monasteries, the cathedrals, the buried star forts, all throughout Ukraine now getting further destroyed, as well as Russia.
So Japan occupied it before Russia, right?
Yeah, it was a part of the Japanese Empire.
And then under an agreement, Russia and Japan both used it. And then later,
They
something-
were fighting over it. Like there's the Russo-Japanese War and all this stuff that happened, and then I guess whenever Japan surrendered in World War II, the Russians just used their power to be aggressive and take the island. So there's still Japanese signs and stuff there in some places, and other places are Russian, and other places speak like the Nifk language and the Ainu, some of the indigenous languages.
11:11 p.m. to you beautiful Californians and West Coasters
nice.
joining in right now.
Other than that, all I know about is the abandoned railroad tracks, and that it's hard to get there.
Very sus for the amount of infrastructure we're seeing there. Like, look at all of
lots
that.
of
Are those
lines.
old terraces and stuff? Like, right? Like that's all ancient agricultural stuff, either current or ancient, I should say. Abandoned.
Well, if you remember,
12:12 p.m. in Alberta right now.
What were
well, if you
about
remember
to
that,
say, Sean?
if you remember
is
that
there a
Palmaro map,
Is there a volcano on that island? Something?
I don't know.
I
find it.
suspect there's probably a couple, maybe even active, definitely dormant or prior, because that's right on the ring of fire of the
Right.
Pacific.
Right. So if there's a volcano,
I feel like
There's
that
something called
a
the
lot of the
Sakhalin Island
evolution-
Arc, which is a chain of volcanoes. It's a chain
I
of
think
islands.
that Japan and Russia were trading back and forth islands for a while. And I guess that was part of the trade. They let Russia have this one, and they got Japan got the Sakhalin something or other. Or no, the Kurlans.
Yeah, the Kurans, they're still technically at war over those, or they're yet to sign a peace treaty over those Kurlan Islands there between Japan and Russia, and it was given to Russia, former USSR, after World War II with Japan's surrender.
Yeah, there's always been like bad blood between Japan and Russia, right? From like the olden days.
Can you look at that? That's a massive old abandoned bridge or structure of some sort, and behind it, what looks like those mountain things look pretty sus and possibly terraformed. It was looking almost pyramidal there on that first shot of them, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, what's that in the
And
background?
they're definitely pointy.
It's definitely weird.
Oh shoot, wrong one.
What'd you do?
Oh, we're here already. I was just gonna go back because where are those fucking mountains?
Good call.
I guess
I'm just going
These
to
would be them.
momentarily step out for a 4:20 break. I will be right back if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Do your thing, dog.
Yeah, it seems like strange that it's not like there's a volcano on it, right? Because you think like
No, there is. There's a island. There's an entire chain of islands there that are volcanoes. It's like a Sakhalin chain of volcanoes.
Like I'm a big believer, like a volcano is like a big trading point. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, but that island has a volcano. You can't have it.
Like Pirates Caves or like dwarven mountain cities or something, right?
I don't know. I just like like just a volcano is like an important geological like land grab.
I don't know what makes you think of it, just because of like the natural resources that come from the eruptions, or
yeah. I mean, because like how California has so many volcanoes. It's all volcanoes basically, and hot springs and just all that crazy stuff. I mean, it just seems like it's super uninhabited because it doesn't have that kind of like hot spring or something in it, because you have caves and all this crazy stuff. How like Hawaii's lush, and the Hawaiian Islands at one point was the richest kingdom in all of the world because of like I just think it just volcanoes, it comes along with like riches.
Sounds interesting. I've never heard about the Hawaiian being wealthy. I'd like to hear more about that.
Oh yeah, dude. Like it was like a trade route with sugars and like exotic fruits and plants.
Oh, sorry guys.
At one point, it was a real king royalty there, which is like kind of sad to the story, because if you ever been to Hawaii, like Like you'll see a complete depression, unlike any other, between like locals and like tourists. It's like unbelievable. You can feel it.
Was this guy fucking hang gliding or something?
Yeah, they did pretty much up. I don't remember all the details about the story, but I've looked into it before.
Cemetery?
I don't know. That was weird.
What is that?
Yeah, Sherry, what's up? She says it was stolen in 1893. Yeah, and like all the kings were dying at young ages and stuff, from what I remember, and it was just super suspicious.
They blasted this mountain away.
Looks pretty intense.
Well, they mined the hell out of it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, the people that live here, the Ionu people that are on this island, they look pretty European. Some of them obviously have mixed with more of an Asian type, but overall they look European. It's kind of weird. They have facial hair and stuff.
There's nothing about it.
It's pretty blurry. It kind of sucks.
You can really see how it's fucking blasted here.
Does anyone else hear whistling a little bit?
Yeah.
I have an owl outside. Can you hear that?
Is this
It's
Japan?
really loud.
No,
this
that'd be
is
awesome.
this is currently Russia. It's the Sakhalin Island, but it's basically Japan. It used to be part of Japan. Well, yeah, on that old Frau Mara map, though, this entire area is covered in like very nice structures or towers.
It looks like there's
massive
foundations everywhere. So it would make sense.
Yeah, this is north of Japan, Jerry.
I think in the I have a fucking some Bering Travels or some shit where they talk about looking for an island above Japan, and they mentioned Tartary, I believe. I can't quite remember off the top of my head.
Wait, who was this?
The dude Bering, who fucking the explorer, Russian explorer.
I'm not really familiar with him.
Let me see. Well, he's the one who the Bering Sea is named after. Let me see if my bookmark here. Because I think I marked a couple things.
Did you see the perfect stone cut Menahuni ditches in Calgary? No, I haven't heard of that.
Who wrote something?
A guy named HD. He asked about some place in Hawaii that is perfect cut stone ditches. Looking it up right now. Looks like there's like a tombstone in the side of the cliff or something. That's weird.
Let me see it.
I can't bring it up right now until Bernie gets back. I can send you the link though. You could click on your computer, I guess.
Yeah, do that.
I'm trying to find this note in this book.
Sick, dude. I'll grab it right here. Of YMAs. God, I think there's only 14 letters in the Hawaiian alphabet. Oh yeah. Yeah, when you're like in Is this it? Yeah. When you're in Maui, like if you're down in Hana, you can go into the lava tubes down there, and it's like 30. It takes you 30 hours to like crawl all the way through them.
I've heard of that.
They give you like a little tour, and it's underneath like this temple made out of like all this lava rock. It's pretty interesting. No one goes to it too. You can just walk around it all day long and like, not bump into anybody. It's pretty intense.
I'd be paranoid about lava, like just the volcano exploding, but what are the odds, right? Like that'd be an epic opportunity to explore. And yeah, in Hawaii there's all sorts of massive megalithic runes and even some pyramids. Shout out to Third Phase of the Moon, Blake and Brent Cousins that live out in Hawaii. Recently they've gone out and boots on the ground showed a couple of megalithic pyramids that haven't really been shown on film before in Hawaii, as well as some other megalithic ruins that were overgrown in one of, I think, the main island there. But absolute tragedy what's happened there. Apparently over 1,000 dead, but they're not confirming that. They're only claiming 100 with 1,000 missing, which is an absolute just beyond tragedy, but ridiculousness. Anyways, won't go into that. Back to the megaliths, and that there was a comment there saying that because of the fires, there was now exposed these ancient stone cut ruins or city drainage or something like that. Did I hear that right?
I think no, in Waimea there's like these rocks. Bring it up in the thing.
All right, hold on. Before we move off this island, I knew this shit sounded familiar.
Right.
So from this Bering's Voyages book, I don't know if you guys can see it.
See it, yeah.
This was reprinted in 1935.
Sorry, can you hold it up one more time, brother?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So Bering was Russian, you said.
Yeah, and he was like, the mainstream explorer who discovered all this shit. The Bering Sea is named after him, obviously. The Bering Strait, which is the fucking strait between Russia and Alaska, is named after him. And so this is chapter 1. And it's just called The Geographical Knowledge of the North Pacific Ocean at the beginning of the 18th century. In the second paragraph, it goes, there are many reasons for believing that the islands or the continent, there are many reasons for believing the islands or continent were to be found in that northern region. So basically, like, the whole premise of him exploring was like, they knew all these lands were out there, and it was just a matter of finding them, sailing and finding them, basically.
They were being sent on a mission because it was like they were seeing these ancient maps showing these places, and they're like, okay, now go confirm and explore that they're there for us.
Yeah, and so, dude, it gets so when the Jesuits came to Japan in the middle of the 16th century, they learned that north of Japan proper, there's a body of land called Yezo, but they could not fully inform themselves as to its shape and its size. A somewhat similar report reached Europe from another quarter. Richard Cox, an English merchant in Japan, in a letter written in 1611, made mention of an island called Yezdo, which is thought to be rather some part of the continent Tartaria.
Interesting.
But this was not the only vague information cartographers had to go on. What's the other part? I forget, but yes, and so I think this island is what I think this is Yezdo, what they're talking about.
It's interesting. Yeah, I wonder if it is.
I think that might be one of the
Fascinating.
Yeah. It's been a while since I looked at it, but there's not that much like I can remember finding on it. I think this is different. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I meant to put it back to the.
Yeah, you can get off of mine.
There we go. I was trying to put it back to Google Earth, but
Oh shit.
I guess all good.
We can go back. We can go back to it.
Yeah, did you guys want to also look at?
Oh yeah, what was
Hawaii
the
there?
other one? You're pulling up Hawaii. Yeah.
That like rock, that cut rock thing. I think Shem has it in the private chat, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was just I don't even really know what it was, but there seemed to be like a gravestone in the wall. Someone in the chat was talking about it.
So it's like rocks that are like perfectly cut,
Here,
smooth.
Let me grab it.
I'm looking at that now, but there's also water below it. That could be. Yeah, it's actually the water below the stone, the flowing. It's not actually a pond; it's a waterway, and then it's actually along a road as well in the picture below it. Here, I'll bring that up. Here we go. So it's actually a couple of pictures. It starts with this one with this plaque, but it's actually this water that's relevant here. It's a stream, but it's actually irrigation, and it's really ancient, and it continues along and apparently goes along the whole town here, and even goes through the volcano or the mountain itself. And it's showing these cuts, these 90 degree, 90 degree, 90 degree perfect engineering. I believe those are Tesla valves or another way of hydraulics that keeps the water at a steady flow rate throughout, and that this is also seen in Peru, Bolivia, throughout South America, in the Andes, in their megalithic, macro megalithic areas, especially the famous underground aquifers that go through and under the whole Nazca lines through the Nazca desert there. They actually run from the Andes and in the mountains of the Andes, the headwaters of the aquifers there that are acknowledged to be ancient, megalithic, and macro, built by this lost ancient civilization, having the same features of this 90 degree, so square, rectangle, square, hydraulic feature of flow rate within these aquifer canal, or what would it be called? The what are the Roman ones called? Aqueducts.
Viaduct.
Yeah, essentially an aqueduct because it's going under, as well as canalish. Yeah, they're like mini canals as well, essentially for agriculture, irrigation, and just evidence that they're everywhere, including Hawaii here, where anywhere there's signs of this past megalithic, ancient, probably pre-cataclysm master builder civilization, you see the exact same super advanced features built into everything. And here's another example of one still remaining in Hawaii, and that these are found throughout all of macro and micro Polynesia, as well as most likely Easter Island, I believe, as well.
Yeah, he's wearing a blue hat, huh?
Good show.
Nice,
and blue sneakers, sneaking the blue.
And he's got that tie-dye on. He's like a real.
He's safe from the fire, then, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Did you see that shit?
Yeah.
Illuminati confirms.
But yeah, they keep the native sites on Hawaii's island to like extremely secret. I was looking into it in the past. I couldn't find much information about what I was looking for. The book was only available at like 1 or 2 universities in Hawaii. Couldn't even buy it online.
They got to digitize that immediately if it didn't just get burnt before. They try burning it all down. My God. That's what's so great about the internet though now, and all these digital cloud archives. What are we looking at here, good ElkMan, sir?
So we're looking at a map of the Dominion of Canada, province of Ontario, published by GW and CB Colt & Co. in New York. It's an atlas map, and I'll post a link to it in Rumsey in the chat. I've added stuff to the one that we're seeing now, but I'll post one in the chat if I can find y'all guys again. But just 1 second. So this map, I was just going through an app I had on my phone. It was called like Old Maps or something, of just like where I was at, and I was looking at all the old StarFort locations on it, and where they were at were always pretty interesting. There's always like a 5 dotted circle, which I've overlaid with these yellow stars to make it easier to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll show y'all what they look. Oh, I got the wheelie ball.
Wheel of Death.
Yeah.
So this is a old map of Ontario that you have added a whole bunch of StarFort locations to?
So all I did was find, here's one of them that I haven't found. So if you see this, I don't know if you can see my mouse right here, but
Yes,
right
sir.
there in that section, there's a circle with 5 or 6 dots around it that I missed. So that's all I've done, is I've dotted all these with stars. And then I overlaid it over a map, and I found like a ton of interesting stuff. And there's a whole shitload I've missed. Like, I don't even know if this is the most updated map. I just pulled this one up because I had it, but like they're all over the place. And like, I'm suggesting that this is kind of like similar to the maps of Ohio with all the mounds and stuff, but it doesn't say in the legend what that symbol means anywhere. I've dug and dug.
These are potential mounds of Ontario and
Michigan.
Beautiful.
But yeah, there's a ton I've missed too, but yeah, I'll share this map with y'all, but that's just like a whole bunch. And like so some of the interesting things I've found at some of these locations, I'll pull it up, are things like this.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So this research I did a long time ago, so I'm not like super close to it, but Woodbine Beach is in Ontario. And as I was doing all this, like I was just doing it on my phone, so most of these locations are on this map. You'll find some stuff I have just added in here that I was interested in at the time, but it was all stemmed from this. So I'll just like tear through this. If you want to stop and talk about anything, I've researched probably most of these places, and I have ideas of Rat Island.
Right? What is Rat Island? And what is this giant? Do explain or go into some detail. Like,
yeah, so basically on every single one of those stars on that map I just showed, I knew that there was always something, but it would always take me a while to look for it. And doing that on Google Earth, that was just something I saw. Doing that on Google Earth for a long time could be like really, really like tedious. So what my original plan was is so that it would be a website. So you'd hover over every one of these stars and it would bring up a picture of like what actually is there on Google Maps, which I assume is what we're looking at.
Gotcha. This is epic.
This thing
Gotta
is something
keep
else.
building this.
Yeah, like I've got documentation on this from the city that it's in, which is Hamilton, Ontario. I've shared it before.
And is that
not the
another
first-
mound? Like, is that like a serpent and a couple of mounds? Like pyramid? What?
Yeah, and it went to it went to court.
This is
and
in
everything
Hamilton,
too.
Ontario.
Yeah,
I might have a
QEW is
StarFort
403.
map from there.
Yeah.
But you know,
Oh,
I'm just showing and telling. But some of the stuff I do know about. So the Hamilton one, right in that area, it's been to court, and they've just said since we have only found mounds in Rice Lake, they could not possibly exist here. Case closed. There's satellite
yes, they
photos
do
and
everywhere.
everything. Yeah, I might be able to pull it up and share it later. I have shared it before, but it's got people's names in it and stuff, so I don't like sharing it. But if you search like Hamilton, Ontario, ruins and mounds, it possibly is the first thing that shows up, and it's a PDF document from them. Yeah, this is something.
What?
So this is also a shape I noticed.
Good, ElkMan. My goodness, you're rewriting.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just showing and telling. You find these on like a lot of Indian reserves, and this shape in particular shows up all the time. It kind of looks like an eye to me. I don't know what it is, but like
potential
someone
geoglyph.
does.
Potential
Yeah,
geoglyph.
and this is the
well, look at that.
it's the
that definitely is.
It's like a turtle.
yeah. And if you match them up with like the native
for sure. That's
the native, yeah, and if you match it up with the native geoglyphs and symbols at the time, they're all the same too. Yeah.
Wow.
So this I found in an old book too. So
fascinating.
So Fort Wayne's a big one. It's a fort. I'm not sure what we're looking at here.
That looks like a potential one of the more rectangular pentagrammal StarFort styles. The Citadel ones that could have been the ruins of it or the base of one.
Yeah, and we got the turtle back here. This is like a new park that's been redone, but it still is there in the middle of industrial wasteland for a reason. This is just like some random shape in the middle of a field with some red abandoned building. This is in Hamilton too. It's called
Look at that shell
Devil's.
rock.
Yeah, it's at the Devil's Punch Bowl. It's called. So it's like
Of
a big
course,
bowl.
they
But,
give it a demon name, right? Don't go here and explore.
yeah, but this guy Shai Zhang took a good picture that kind of makes it to me look like it's a wall here, like because it's a total straight
100% like
line,
megalithic wall.
straight. And a lot of these pictures that people take of these locations get deleted from Google Earth like really quick. So thank you
That
for
looks
taking
like
pictures.
some melted brickwork down there. That's wow.
Yeah, so this was just like lining up those stars. This is the Devil's Punch Bowl.
WTF is that? Can you zoom in on that? Like, are you kidding me?
Is that a sinkhole?
Or
Claiming
quarry.
that's a
Could be a
geological
quarry.
feature.
A mine.
It's not a quarry.
It's a freaking building.
Oh, here we go.
Devil's Punch Bowl is a 37-meter ribbon waterfall on the Niagara Escarpment in Stony Creek community of Hamilton, Ontario. It's found in the Devil's Punch Bowl conservation area. I can go on and on about this, but there's a lot. It would just be easier if you guys are interested in this to go on Google Earth and check it out yourself, because you'll notice a lot of like steps coming out of grass and stuff and a lot of straight lines. It's
hold on. So just to grab that is a former feature of Niagara Falls that the water used to go into, and then am I correct? Or does it still have water running through it? Like, it's all part of the Niagara Falls, correct?
No, it's in Hamilton. It's in Hamilton. And it's part of the Niagara Escarpment, which is like the rocks that go from there to Niagara Falls.
So how far from the Niagara Falls is it?
Like between 200 and 300 kilometers.
Okay, all right. So
at least.
Macro. Gotcha. Completely different features, but
what is that? 150 miles?
Looks like macro-sized plumbing.
Yeah, so those lines, when water ends up doing that to rock, that means that those are like sediments, right? So, and how it's layered, you see how that is? And you got like the green, which is like a leaching mineral. Yeah. And then the red, those are all just different minerals that it's leaching in different like sediment lines. And it's so flat.
Looks huge.
You know? It's like you don't get to see a lot of like.
Sorry, I'm seeing it now. It's still pretty sus.
Yeah, yeah, how to get into that shape. They say it was from water over a long time, the official definition, but just looks weird.
It looks weird on Google Earth, I can tell you that.
But, I gotta get out of here, boys. Appreciate you all. Thanks for having me on, Bernie.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everyone.
Adios, dude.
Bro. Thanks for joining, brother.
Yeah, like when you see lines like that, that's insane. How it's just different sediment lines the whole way down.
Right, because like I was a geology major for a few years in post-secondary, but I ended up never finishing because I'd always get in fights with.
Oh, come on, guy! You didn't fucking finish.
No, I like.
You swam out there. You have to swim all the way, dude. You can't swim back.
Right, I know, but just that's a very super sus and interesting site, that Devil's Punch Bowl, of the different layers, like you're saying, like the geological layers on it. Crazy. And
well, and it's like the different colors just means that there's like it's just different things are leaching out at different like like the blue could be copper, right?
Right. Yeah,
the blue
definitely.
Could be copper, and the orange can be like some kind of acetate of like
yeah. Whoa!
Look at that.
What is that one?
That's more Hamilton too. So I just want to share a couple quick things. Just like.
Please zoom in.
So this one's a spiral. I don't know where this is exactly, but it's like it's either the dot with two circles around it, or it's a spiral mound, and it's in Canada. I'm assuming. This is something I just came across. It looks like a fun camp to be at. Oh,
those are tents.
Boy Scout, probably.
Yeah, I don't remember where it is, but there's your location if you want to check it out. This was on the star map, so you got like an Indian mound here. I would say you got your octagon. You got a lot going on, and it's been flooded out.
Wow.
Now we're back in Hamilton again, right where that other stuff was. So you've got big zigzags and whatever this is. I'm just tearing through this because there's so many photos, and
they're all great, dude.
Yeah. Every single one is like mind blowing and fascinating as
So this is the location that they were talking about in the court case. There's apparently there's a bunch of stuff that doesn't exist. Is
that a tunnel right there?
It's not a tunnel. It's like a I can't remember what they call it, but like not a bath, but it's not a tunnel that I'm aware of. It could possibly have been an old train, something or other too. Because there was a lot of old train lines that went through here that are on the old Jesuit maps I have, but aren't on any current maps.
Yeah.
That's
We're gonna need you to bring up that J map again, if possible, before it's all said and done, because
Okay,
you
I will.
are sharing telling some gold tonight, brother.
So this is this is in Hamilton, and this looks interesting, right? Like we've seen this before, but now it's all condos, and you can't see this on Google Earth anymore. But yeah, that's interesting, right?
They always seem to build the stairs before anything else. It's like, okay, it's a great place to put the stairs.
This shape is similar to the Coco Pelli. I can't remember what it is, but
I see it, like a little baby.
Yeah.
Looks like a little bear cub.
And what's important about this picture is look at its surroundings and why the fuck is that still there, yo? And like on the star map, this is the shapes you would find. You'd always find foundations, and I'll get to these other pictures, but so I was like excited. I found my star, and right beside it was the little alien baby.
It's all burned out everywhere else.
I find shit like that.
Oh, look at the
foundations all over.
Straight foundation. Mining and coring it all out, but you can see that wall and the huge foundation. Wow.
And Brunt Creek there's a ton of stuff there too. Yeah, if you search Brunt Creek ruins, and like, just as a guy who loves Google Earth, when you see stuff that's like orange and red like this, it's like an indicator that you should be looking there. And there's like you probably can't see it very well because this is like
I see some star pointy angles and possible. Oh, and look at that foundation down. Wow. Oh, of course it's called. Was that called Badlands?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, ancient ruins. Don't go there. It's Badlands.
But it's not a trench. Like you would think. It looks. Yeah. That's
like
squiggly line. Like
it's irrigation canal or something.
Yeah, but it hasn't been touched.
Yeah, it seems like you would just.
Yeah. There's a star point.
Yeah, just like here.
Mount Nemo.
Is that the same one?
And,
yeah.
Are we able to bring this up on Google? Actually,
it's like a lazy river.
Can you go back to that last one with where the coordinates were quite?
I can bring it up on Google. I know exactly where it is. Like,
please do, because I'd like to see some measurements of like the topography of this area. This is like macro scale, freaking.
Do you want to do that right now, or do you want me to keep blowing through this and save it for another time?
No better time than now.
Let's do it right now. Let's pause the slideshow. We'll still finish the other half of the share and tell, but let's go deep into this one right now, because this is looking like next level sort of spot, my friends.
Okay.
Yeah, I never get to see Canada stuff.
I know you guys.
I know it's up there.
It doesn't exist. That's like.
Well, it does.
Yeah.
We're showing that it does. That's the big thing. Like this also in Canada. This guy right here, the Badland Guardians that I've visited and shown, and that they're all macro terraformed, terraced constructed buildings that have these geoglyph earthenworks, these radials that map out to specific spots. For those that aren't aware of what geoglyphology is, and the geoglyph works of Arthur Ferrum, that's a presentation for another day. But just showing that this is like a road. This is a giant Mayan head, as well as to the right of the road, you got another elongated skull dude. The main Badland Guardian guys, and the whole valley of several of these different giant geoglyphs, and then I've now found out that there's another 8 faces, another full parallel valley of megalithic or macro geoglyph figures right above to the north of this valley of all of these guys. So we will do that on a future.
Did you name those all? But did you name those?
No, this is not my naming. This was just a picture I found of it all. They actually referred to other names officially for the most of those. It's through this valley as well here.
I see it. I see it.
Yeah, I went there and explored, showed all sorts of stuff. But that's for topic of another day. ElkMan, please take it away and continue. You're bringing up the Google Earth of that spot.
Yeah.
Let's take a look into, and this is Hamilton, correct? Right? Around Hamilton that we're going into?
Yeah.
I change the colors up every time it's a different segment for rewatching and editing purposes.
Smart.
Oh, this is the Squiggly River right here, right?
Yeah.
Holy, like, so Hamilton was potentially a star city from the beginning? Yes or no? Do we know?
Oh yeah. There's a lot.
I guess take us through and educate us, please, ElkMan. I'm new to this. I'm an ignorant Westerner. I'm a hick from Alberta. You're teaching me the other half of my history here.
The thing is like I don't know too much about it. I just found it. I found all this stuff from Google Earth, and then I was like, "Whoa, that's too interesting not to be nothing," and then researched it back that way. So all through this creek, there's ruins, forts, and stuff that keep coming back up within people.
That this is all like mostly like
look at that the lake, the little reservoir there too is all pointing to the left.
This is all fascinating stuff right here, brother. Please, if you can go in on it a bit more, if there's ground level even access. What?
It depends what year you look at all this stuff too.
Wow.
This is very interesting place.
No kidding. Like, and those are roads or just unpaved roads that, or you just kind of zoomed in.
So they're roads, like, yeah, they kind of, you kind of get hosed because this is the new satellite photos that they give you. So,
right. So some could be former canals, dried up canals, paths, and then dirt roads and new roads.
Where's the center? Oh, I see. Yeah, right there.
And then this is all the escarpment and all this green all up through here was an old trade route as well. It all went through here. So all this land is still to this day not been used for anything, but it's like highly sought after. Mount Nemo.
It's sought after by commercial interest.
Yeah, it's all become mines, and then
right.
So they mine it. I don't know if they mine it all out. Well, they landfill it, and then they build huge. But like even in that last picture, like you could see the star shape, which once was here. Mm-hmm. But there's a ton of this stuff in this area.
And that's a mine, eh?
I don't know. I don't know what we're looking at, to be honest with you. Mount Nemo.
Mine.
Yeah.
I think I've seen
there's-
maps of Montreal or as Toronto that were star cities. One of those ones.
Yeah,
Oh,
It would make
definitely
sense
both.
if this is
in both of them.
probably both.
There's
Yeah.
StarForts in both. Like
Yeah.
in Toronto, there's
I think I had some maps
Fort
somewhere.
York.
Montreal just seems like an old freaking city, anyways. Just has that vibe.
Montreal's as old and Starforty and crazy as it comes. Same with Quebec City, but like Montreal, I've been to 6 times, I think now, maybe 7, I forget. But just add like the amount of cathedrals and like the islands and just the castle, it's nuts. It's literally the most craziest old world city you will ever find or experience. It blew my mind, blows my mind every time.
And
sorry to
Sherbrooke?
interrupt. Yeah.
Sherbrooke's pretty like, yeah.
Yeah, there's Fort York right in downtown Toronto too.
Yeah, I mean that's a star. I've seen Starfort shapes like that in New Mexico. They even call it a Starfort.
Yeah, so the ones that are near, like the ones closest to me, there's a ton of them.
Look at that.
So Amherstburg, there's one. This one's in Canada.
Oh yeah,
Look at that.
yeah. It's like a park.
Boblo Island and all this. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on here, but not necessarily forts. There's fort right here. I have star marked here, but this is all Mohawk. This is Mohawk land. This is this whole green, like Ojibwe Parkway near Windsor, and all this Malden is all old ruins as well.
Big complex.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then there's Fort Wayne is close to here.
Oh, Windsor, Detroit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a tunnel that goes somewhere underneath there, right?
Oh yeah. The tunnel, I think, is right here, and then there's the bridge, and then there's a few bars that are rumored to have tunnels.
ElkMan, do you mind?
Mexican
Are you
town
able
from
to put us
Mexican Bay.
like the Google view on the ground at some of these spots?
Look at that.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, on there. Does it give us? Will it let
And
us give first perspective or no?
Sure.
Dropped a little.
And
bit.
also the biggest star fort is the one, like I don't know what they call it now, but it was called Hart Plaza, and it's like Detroit. Where am I here?
In Windsor, you pop out in Windsor. Is it like a Dutch settlement or something like that? They all dress kind of like in little.
Nah,
Dutch.
Windsor has a lot of weird history, but it was tons of native Canadian people, and then like this, you're right, like it was originally a Dutch settlement, but then somehow Ford had like a commune that was outside of the government within Windsor at one point called Ford City. But that's like a whole other thing. But like there used to be more stars along here, but they disappeared. But yeah, sorry, I'll
mined
put us
them
on the
all
ground somewhere.
out, right? They've quarried and mined and destroyed it all, but all the most advanced engineering and terraforming and just structure and what bases is all ancient as F, and like that's probably just the top of it, you know, like the classic battery, when in fact there's usually 3 or 4 stories below it. And ooh, look at that brick still there.
I know the brick is amazing. How many bricks did they say built it? Is that me?
It's me, probably.
Maybe. Do you want to come back in and out, or is it what?
I'm gonna jump off here. So
Okay. Fair
yeah.
enough. Well, thank
All
you
right.
for-
Hey everyone.
I should
Talk to
probably
you
jump
later.
off. Anyways, too.
I'll check you later. Thanks, Bernie. See you later, Elkman. Case. Talk to you later.
Have a good one, guys.
Pleasure, brother. Thank you. We will get back. Don't stop, Elkman. I'm just zooming in quickly. You
I'll
still
just burn
able-
through the rest of the slideshow, unless you want to, unless.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm down to go for as long as you want. Keep going. This is epic stuff. I was just gonna hop out for a smoke. Was all.
Oh, don't need me to carry this solo, buddy.
Oh no. Okay, so you're staying for a little bit, right? But
Yeah, I'll hang for a few. What's
do you
that
want to
old
just
castle?
quickly exit though and come back in though? Because I think your sound's glitching. So usually if you exit, come back, it'll fix it.
Me?
No, Casey there, right? I think
Is it
you're
working
gonna
now?
have to. No, you're gonna have to leave and then like reload the page, or just hit refresh the page, and it should fix it. And I'll have to let you back in. It always does it to one panelist. It's very strange. And epic. There we go. Right? Can we hear you now? Good, right? Perfect. Just like that. Takes it all out. Strange how it does that. Glad to have you back.
Glad to be back.
And yeah, take your time, Ryan. This is awesome stuff. And I'm gonna step out for smoke, but I'm gonna be watching, and then I'm gonna come back, and we're gonna go deeper into this because you're blowing my mind. Like that wall, do they claim that's new, or is that along the entire canal? Probably.
I'm just saying these stairs are similar compared to the ones we saw in Hamilton. I can't remember where this is, but it's not Hamilton.
Cyclopean. That's tight.
Yeah.
That looks like fucking little step pyramid
I don't remember where this one is.
action.
It might be somewhere close to Niagara Falls, but I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
It would make sense if there's a shit ton along that whole river that leads up to fucking the falls. What river is it?
Ohio.
Okay, yeah. I swam in that a couple years ago, not too far from the falls. It was nice, very nice. I guess it's near Buffalo.
I don't have any idea where this is.
I could be fucking.
I think it could even be the Middle East or something.
Totally, I was just gonna say that. It could be fucking Egypt. Oh, they got one of those there.
Yeah, it's massive. And then there's the monument at the top.
Fuck, I'm trying to think if I've been there. I don't think I have. I just seen pics.
So this is a big StarFort too.
Oh yeah, you can see it.
It's on tons of like the oldest maps of Canada. It's on all.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I've seen that on the maps. Yeah, I could see little walls down there.
I started finding triangles everywhere too, but I have like a couple videos on that.
Yeah, I see those a lot in my Google Earth fucking ventures.
Yeah, this is all really interesting.
Looks terraformed to say the least.
Typical Tartarian church in Brant, Ontario.
I know that's it. You know, all the small towns. That's how you can really fucking get into the shit. Just go to a small town and see all this shit.
I think both. I think these. I think this is possibly one of. It's possibly one of those Seneca castles. I'm not sure. This could be in Algonquin Park.
And there's a powerhouse there.
This is back in the Detroit River again.
Those man-made islands, or
yeah, and there's a man-made channel, and there's a man-made pipe with a power line, and the world's longest cable, and all this stuff. There used to be like a theme park on Boblo Island. I can't remember why this is important.
you could kind of see some shape in the trails.
This is like a this was in Windsor. They found it. It was built by like the Ursulines, so they say way back when. It's like I can't remember what they call it. A grotto, I think, but it's moved around a few times, but it just looks wild to me.
It's moved around.
Yeah, they say they've taken it apart, and
Yeah.
I'll get some more pictures of it soon, but they say they've taken it apart and moved it to other places.
So took it apart, did they?
This is like one of the oldest buildings that still stands in Canada, I believe. Largest coffer dam in the world, lime kiln crossing in the Detroit River. So those were those straight lines we were looking at.
So they dammed it. Ross Park. See that? Go back to the baseball ones. Just that, exactly that baseball complex. Like when I showed you the baseball fields earlier, I see a lot of shit like this. Like, I mean, like I see, there's definitely points to on the outfields,
Yeah, and this is lower too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
We're
why I have this.
seeing
It's
the
probably
same
just a
thing.
star on the map. Or whatever. Don't know.
That big ass triangle on that island. Did you ever look at that one?
Yeah, ruins.
Yeah.
I think this is like a tunnel entry too.
Yeah.
So in Mitchell's Bay, which is kind of near Detroit, there's tons of these star forms everywhere. It's also near Walpole Island, and that place is totally blocked out of well, for me, it's blocked out of Google Maps, but there's a lot of interesting stuff going on there.
There's
This is
probably
Hamilton again.
some military complexes out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that thing?
That was that place we were looking at in Hamilton.
Okay.
Where it led up to there.
The steps, yeah. Huh.
So it's massive, and right now here stands like a gigantic apartment complex.
So they were just getting into construction there.
This is weird. This one's in Toronto, I think, and it was a star on the map, but this yeah, it's really weird. So this is an underground entrance, and this goes really high up, and then there's another entrance. And all down through the valleys here. If y'all know where it is, there's still kilns to be found. This is where it is. The Great Honey Kiln of 1800 still stands. You can go check it out in this park. It's just like a ruin. You can't do too much research. Yeah.
There's another one out there. Hearn.
Don't know. This shape you find over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And this is near the CNE, I think, in Toronto, and like there's all these like Egyptian statues and stuff around here, and a lot of interesting stuff. I hope I have screenshots of it. I believe this is the building that Drake just bought. Right. yeah, it's a really, really interesting spot. I'm pretty sure this is Niagara Falls.
Like the whole waterway system is just sus as F. Super ancient.
Yeah, and you can still see all the layers.
Whoa.
I think before it was Niagara, like whoever owns it now, it was called Chippewa Power Supply, I think, or the Chippewa Power Station.
There's a Nikola Tesla statue.
Yeah. This is right near me. Like I check this out pretty much every weekend. Just ruins in Ontario.
That staircase was not ancient.
Yeah.
I'd say that's pretty new.
This one's a big one in Niagara Falls. You can still go check it out, I think.
I've seen pictures of that one.
And how deep does that one go, or like officially and unofficially? Because those are usually 3 to 4 stories, like base minimum.
That we've seen. What's that down there? It's like a glass beach or something.
So sometimes
Pollution?
you get this phenomenon on Google Earth, and I have no idea. I don't know.
What?
Yeah. When you look at Google Earth long enough, like all kinds of weird shit starts popping up.
And this is on the res too, like in a pretty like interesting area. So like I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that building right there is definitely StarFort shaped. Yeah, that little structure there.
That place we were just looking at with all the sparkles is where I found not where I found, but where I did that video with the kettleballs too, Bernie.
Really? That's wow.
Yeah, so you get this shape all the time, but they are all airports and like military bases for the most part. But that shape was there before some of those were there.
Right? Reclaim just using the foundations. Like, what?
This is. Yeah, so this is all like in Ontario, I believe. There's lots of Peruvian style, like stuff.
Yeah, that looked straight geoglyph Peruvian style.
Yeah. So this is another Fort York ruins. I think this one's in Newfoundland or Nova Scotia. But you can't find it by searching for Fort York ruins. You just have to go to the map in that area and search for ruins, and then someone's tagged it so it shows up. This was on the star map, and there's like a trace of it.
Yeah, you can see it all under there. Blasted.
I don't know. This one you can see like there's a little part of it there, and it goes all out into the river here. That was a dot on the map too, but there's not anything there now. You know, like there's stuff like it's there. We're looking at it, but it's nothing now.
It's just a fucking mound.
That's all artificially constructed canals, like on such a macro scale of terraforming.
And as I say, most of this is in Ontario, not all of it. Like it could be from anywhere. When I was doing my research at the time, I don't think this is. Oh man, this.
Right, could also be a riverbed.
This is so weird, man. This is This is so fucking weird. So on the Isle
Do
of
go into the
Jesus
Isle
in
of Jesus,
Montreal,
but-
there's this plaque, but it's underneath the fucking rock. I'll go into this another time because it's just too much for my brain to get into right now. Yeah, so this is Notre Dame, and they obviously discovered that there was something worth digging up and putting a parking lot over. That was just recently too, like within the last 5 years, I'd say.
Wow. Like, how do they keep covering this up? Well, I guess I'm asking that rhetorically, as you literally stated, they put a freaking parking lot over it after digging it up. But
This shape I see all the time. It's like the guy on the fucking Google Maps where you drop the man. It's an oval shape at the top, and then like an oval with a flat bottom. It's all over everywhere.
that's
and I don't
potential astroarchaeology, I believe, with sun and moon cycles.
So there's
What?
tons of stars all through here, and then like it's been sunken or I don't know. It's swampy.
Flooded or wow, straight canals.
Point lands.
This was at a beach, and this is at my beach, and like one day these rocks just came up from out of under the sand. So I thought that was cool.
Huh.
And then they were like all throughout, and we'd never seen them before. I've
Whoa.
lived there for a long time. This is I think this is a ruin in Algonquin Park. Yeah, it's in Algonquin Park. So I'm not telling anyone to research the Turtle Club in Algonquin Park, but Algonquin Park is a park in Ontario, Canada, and it's, I think, like, this may be I might be totally off on this, but I think it's like 15% of the size of the province, and it's massive. But there's all these kind of ruins still throughout the park, but it's huge. And you have to
And it's
canoe
one of the
everywhere there.
oldest national parks as well, I believe.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to talk about the Turtle Club. But yeah, here's another StarFort that's just in current places.
Oh yeah.
This was on the star map, but it's obviously someone else like who cares about like there's a spiral here made out of currant trees. But I think this is original, and there's like a lot of stuff around here. So whoever's on this land now, like, I think appreciates what they got. It's just really interesting.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. I think this is the one we looked at in Detroit. This is Windsor Jail, which is very interesting building too.
Energy harvester.
Fort Fraser. I think this is in Michigan somewhere. It was on the star map. It is a fort.
Nice set piece.
Right? Like, oh, just this old little wooden fort was all that existed on top of this macro terraformed frickin' structures.
Yeah.
Mountains.
And like, I'm not saying I know much about this stuff. I'm just saying I found a star on that map, and it took me to these places. Like, this is
More baseball
shape.
fields.
Yeah, look, like that's a canal that's artificially created for sure.
And
Terraform.
like, look at this one. Here's the corner of it. 2 baseball
Oh
diamonds.
yeah.
And it's just now in a neighborhood near me. No one would ever
Just
know.
built over it. Chances of 3 or 4 stories of underground frickin' starfortage.
But look at all the intersections.
I mean, I feel like they've built over a lot of the aqueducts with the roads and highways, you know. They just turn them into
Definitely.
fucking roads.
They are mad.
And then put sewage and shit, literal shit and sewage underneath in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was another one here.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
2 dots on this map. This is either the college or the YMCA, and I find that, and it was a dot on my map, and I find that a fucking hilarious shape for someone to be like, oh yeah, let's just design the college to be that shape, and the YMCA that's just across the street. Let's make it
No
look like
doubt.
this.
They knew. Someone
Yeah.
knew.
Exactly what they're doing, man.
Yeah, there's another one here. I think this one, it was it crosses over too many properties not to be. I think it was a squirrel or a rat or something. I can't remember what the picture is.
Geoglyph of some sort.
Totally paved over. Let's make a parking lot like that shape.
On the StarFort.
The shape again.
The asterisk.
I
No
don't know.
artificial.
Just a big eye opener to me, man. That one map led me to all this, which like I could just keep going. I could like research these places for days and days and days, like each one of them. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah, well, they keep giving, you know, they keep giving up the goods.
What? Old Fort Niagara.
It can't be ignored.
Yeah, these are all at Niagara. These 3.
That's a golf club or golf.
Yeah, it's a golf course now.
Of course.
Wow. Of course, it's a course.
Fort Clarence.
Golf corpse.
Village of Blue Water. Looks like Old World City to me.
Yeah, it's a big oil town.
Imagine that.
But that was, this plaque exists and this layout was there a long time ago, and it just happens to be on a reserve again. I can't remember what we're looking at here. Yeah. Mackinac Island.
That looks like a giant StarFort.
Yeah. This is Blue Water. What's left of it.
Just mining it all up.
Old Toronto Hospital. I don't know how much I got left.
The amount of
Chatham.
terraforming.
Another building in Chatham, Ontario. I think that's how Walpole Island. Yeah, back to Detroit. I don't know what these are. Are these cricket? Are they baseball or cricket, or are they something else? Are they for like landing in parachutes?
Huh. It could be cricket, but
I don't know. They're all over the place, is why I ask, and I just don't know.
I don't know. I'd have to see a closer one.
The sunken garden. Yeah, this was in Hamilton. We looked at it quickly.
There's a sunken garden in Santa Barbara.
This I can't say because it's a big secret, but this is there, and there's 2 of them. I think they still stand, but
They're water towers, huh?
yeah, you're just not supposed to talk about them for some reason anymore. But here they are.
Really? Why?
Yeah, and they're still there. They're added out of Google Maps. I don't know. Just the locals get pissed if people go and check it out, but they are there, and some people do talk about them still. But yeah, they're all blanked out of Google Maps if they still do exist. So this is what the water. Yeah, I won't get into it too much. Ferry landing in Windsor. It's just that I did a lot of research into the time these photos were taken, and yeah,
They don't line up.
no, they don't. This is that place after they moved it, apparently, or
The grotto.
yeah, and it looks the exact same. Yeah, it's really weird. It looks like a monster's mouth or something to me, man. It doesn't look like a place I'd be enjoying.
Yeah. It's like,
This is Windsor. Windsor.
Hey, I got to get running here too, guys.
for sure.
Yeah, I got to bounce.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting late. We are at the
Yeah.
2-hour mark, so it is a perfect time. Like,
Oh yeah.
what? That's of the Mormon temple right there, and that's before the wall was built, and it's fully built and up. Wow.
I'll just
Uh,
scrub till I get to the end of these, just so I won't leave y'all hanging. But more stars.
Fair enough, brother. Everywhere.
yeah. That's one.
A pleasure to meet you tonight. It's Casey, right?
Yep, Casey. Hell yeah.
Awesome,
Good
man.
to meet finally.
Absolutely. Your channel is Golden Gate StarFort Commands, I believe.
That's the one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to do some follow-up streams, and I'll get you guys before you're already recording a 2-hour or 3-hour, whatever you're doing with Shem. Shout out Tartarian Truth before that and everything, and we'll get her done and go further into this, because that was absolutely amazing. And thank you, ElkMan, also known as, what's your other channel that you're streaming to right now? Why do I not have it up?
ElkMan, Earthgazer, Rye on the Rocks.
Earthgazer, there we go. You're streaming live on Earthgazer right now, and it's on this one. Here we go. Live. Man, and share that out. And I will make sure to edit it and put everyone's links in the descriptions. Thank you all for being here. Oh, got you back. Sorry, didn't mean to.
No, I think my shit was fucked up, so I gave it the refresh.
Fair enough, brother.
And if you want to deep dive on any of that BurnEye, yeah, we can come back to it sometime.
100%. We definitely need to come back to all of this and go deep into it. And so many sites. I've got friends and I guess ex-girlfriends' families out in Hamilton as well that gonna have to get in contact, send them on submissions, and keep inspiring everybody out there, because as we've all shown, that it's literally in all of our backyards, everywhere, no matter where you go. History that they tell us is a lie. It's just covered in facades. And Casey, we'll have you back as well and do several episodes going deep into why there's these star forts and then the pyramid mounds and everything together, and Ryan ElkMan as well, to like come get your thoughts on what it all is, how they correlate, the purposes of it, and just more discussions on it all. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Any
guys.
finishing words, I guess, ElkMan as well. And sorry, Casey. Oh, all good? All right.
No, I'm stoked, man. I'll come back anytime.
Perfect. Well, we will be emailing then or private messaging. Either way, I'll get in contact through Shem, and we will schedule this again. Much love.
Yeah.